so far, and I would request everyone if we can just text our friends and other agents so that they all can join us as soon as possible. But meanwhile, let's not wait for anyone right now because I think this is after hours and we don't want to waste more of the time right now. Well, this training we are taking care today is on behalf of Shashank Chauhan. Due to certain reasons, he's not available today. However, don't worry. He will be there for, with all his expertise and insights in the market in coming weeks. But for today, me and Abbas, we are taking care of this session. So the agenda for today's session is we will be discussing about negotiation and the closing techniques, right? So we will be having an introduction real estate where we will be understanding the fundamental of negotiation, importance of real estate transaction, and the key skill required for the negotiation. Second, we will be discussing about some of the key principles for the effective negotiation, where we will be exploring the essential strategies, including active listening, building the rapport, understanding the leverage point, and mastering the art of give and take and win-win situation for both the parties. The third, we will be discussing about the negotiation with buyers and the sellers, where we'll be having a certain scenarios and different techniques where a buyer and seller, they both will be happy and we have to come in a mutual agreement as a real estate agent. The fourth, we'll be talking about the negotiation with other stakeholders. There are multiple other parties involved in any kind of real estate transaction other than buyer and seller. So we'll be taking care of those things. Now, some of the common pitfalls or what are the best practices we can take into the consideration while doing this kind of negotiations. And the last, we'll be doing some of the real world, transactions, and also I created it more like a quiz where I want you guys to participate in that. There are three scenarios, and I want to see like how, being a negotiator, you can just come up with a creative solution where you will be coming up on a mutual agreement as a buyer and seller, being a real estate agent. I think this sounds good, and let's start from our introduction to negotiation. Well, what is negotiation? In a simplest word, this is the process of bringing a mutual agreement between two parties. That in real estate terms, it's buyer and seller. Being a real estate agent, we on a mutual grounds so that they both feel happy and they both feel win. So we call it a win-win situation for both the parties. Why this is important and why it's more important in real estate transaction? Because as we all know, we all are seasoned realtors. We have did multiple transactions. This is a part of our day-to-day life, doing the negotiation. And specifically for real estate is a very, very crucial thing. I would say one of the most important is negotiation in real estate. Well, agents serve as intermediaries. We are a middleman. Effective negotiation lead to win-win situations, as I already mentioned, for the smooth transactions. Strong negotiation skills can mean difference between a successful closure and a failed deal. Well, there are different ways for effective negotiation, what we will be discussing right now. Now, the most important, all of these are important. So let's start with the active listening and clear communication. Being a real estate agent, we have to actively listen to each and every part of a buyer, whatever they are talking about, whatever their requirements are, and how they are acting emotionally while looking at those properties. And we have to keep the clear communication between the buyer and the seller. We should transit the clear communication of whatever the buyer's requirements are and whatever the seller's requirements are. Second, we have to understand the balance between competing interest. Well, what does that mean? There are interests between, what is the interest of a buyer? Why exactly a buyer wants to just negotiate the deal, and why the seller don't want to negotiate to the different extent? We have to bring the balance between those parties. Finding a creative solution and bridge the gap. Now, this is very important. Being a realtor, why these people, the buyer and the seller, whom we call as a client, they want to pay us because we are professionals. We are real estate professionals. We are the consultant, and they know that. Sorry, guys, just give me a moment. So let me just turn on the camera. I think my camera is off. I didn't realize this. Sorry about that, guys. Just bear with me. And can you help me out? Because this screen does not allow me to just turn on the camera. I'm clicking on it because either I can present the screen or I can turn on the camera.
Sure, I have tried it. Just give me a moment. There you go.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope you guys can see me now. I'm wearing the glasses today. So, how I'm looking?
Great.
Amazing. Let's get back to it.
Your voice is breaking.
Is it better now, sir?
No, no, no.
I am so sorry. Let me just quickly check it.
It's clear, very clear.
Is it better now?
Now it's better.
Okay. Can everybody hear me fine? Just give me a thumbs up if everyone can hear me crisp and clear.
Has gone low, in fact.
It's
Earlier
gone
it was better.
Okay.
Exactly. Earlier it was better. Now your volume is very low.
Okay, let me just put my laptop over here. Now, how's it now, guys? Sorry.
Great.
Great. Okay, let's get back to it. We don't want to waste time on this one. All right. So amazing. Screen is visible. Okay. So as we were talking about finding the creative solution, why we have to bring a creative solution on the table to bridge the gap, this is very important. And as we all are doing it on a day-to-day basis, because we want to make them feel that both parties are winning. If we are inclining towards a buyer or either party, then we are losing the future business. That's very, very clear, right? And this is the reason the second point is aligned with the maximizing the value for all the parties. When we are bringing on the table as a mutual negotiation and mutual benefit for both the parties, then we are bringing the maximized value for all the parties. Now you see, like, all these points, they are interrelated to each other, right? And I'm going to give you all these points after this presentation as well, so you yourself can connect the dots, how they all are connected to each other. Like, my next point is connected to the maximum value, why it reduces the transaction stress and conflict. When we are bringing the maximum value for all the parties involved in this transaction or the negotiation, then that automatically the stress goes down and there is no chances of the conflict, right? And then the next point is to build a long-term professional relationship. Let's say you did a great job in negotiating and presenting the offer to the buyer and the seller, and you made them feel that, the parties are winning this negotiation and they both are earning something out of it. Then automatically they will consider you for the future business as well. And from that long-term relationship, the professional relationship, they feel that you are a very, very good negotiator and you have a professionalism in that transaction, that they will be giving you referrals and the future business as well. So you see how all of these points, they are interrelated in terms of negotiation. So, well, that was the introduction about the negotiation. Let's move to the next slide, where we will be talking about the key principle of effective negotiation. If we'll be talking about the principle of the negotiation, first of them is preparation. Preparation is most important. Why? First of all, if let's say you're representing a buyer or seller, either way, you have to learn about the market. You have to do your CMS, competitive marketing research, or CMA analysis, which Shashank already mentioned so many times, and we cannot just stress on it more than this, that we as a real estate agent, if we want to success in this business, then we have to be on top of our game. We have to come up with the right market knowledge. We should know the project more than the buyer and the seller, because if they know more than us, there is no way we will be able to do the negotiation. There is no way we can do that deal happen, right? So we have to learn about that market. We have to learn about that project. We have to, not just that, we have to learn about the emotions of the buyer and emotion of the seller, why the seller is so motivated to sell that property. Find out that thing. And of course, you cannot just go directly to the seller, hey, why are you selling it? Or, okay, you are being broke, but then you have to come up with the creative questions. With the help of those questions, you have to just ask them, like, you have to find out those things, that what is the motivation behind this seller to sell this unit or the property, and then leverage on that. Just play around with that thing, and then that gives you upper hand to negotiate when we will be representing a buyer. Whereas when we are representing a seller, then we have to find out why this buyer, what motivates this buyer to just get this unit, Are they emotional buyers? Are they looking for themselves, or are they looking for investment? Can there be a great appreciation? Can there is a big family for them, or why they are just upgrading their lifestyle and XYZ? There are multiple things. So when you have all these data with you, then you can just sit on the table with them with your poker face. Honestly speaking, that helps a lot. And then don't incline towards either party. Then you'll be a great negotiator, because you have done your all the preparation right. Active listening, guys, again and again, I have already mentioned before as well, and then again, see, this point is coming again, that we have to listen very, very actively. Listening, the like actively listening is not just what the conversation they will be. In fact, you will be looking for their body language. What's the pitch of the voice? How are they happy to see that property, or are they nervous to selling on selling this property, or are they, if a seller is selling, are they nervous? Is there some weakness in their voice while negotiating the price? Because that weakness shows that they are desperate sellers. And if somebody is a buyer and then they get excited, so you can leverage that thing because they love that property. Now you have an upper hand because you have listened to their emotion, listened to their body language, listened to their hidden conversation, what they are doing, eye to eye connection. Let's say there are two buyers coming and then they are doing the eye to eye conversation. So you, as a realtor, you have to be like, very sharp in those scenarios. You have to just learn about all those things, body language and signs around you, right? Going further, you have to build a rapport and trust. Well, that's very, very important. Again, how you do that? Represent yourself in a very professional way. You have to build that relationship between the both parties, not just you. Again, as I mentioned before, that you should not be inclined towards one party only. Just bring on the table the mutual benefit and the mutual success for both of them. Demonstrate the reliability and why they should not do the conversation with each other. Instead, they are giving you their points and making you the middleman, because they want to trust you, and then nobody trusts no one just like that. You have to build that trust. You have to give them some knowledge, some insight of the market, and some that what's around the market, what's the property value actually is, and that's how you build the trust. When they feel it, that, yeah, for example, in my case, like, okay, Tarun is saying right, he knows the market, and yeah, he did the research. Okay, price for this property, to the seller, price of this property should not be this much, we can negotiate to the lower price. So something like this, and then automatically people start to trust you, right? And that helps a lot for your future game. Now again, focus on win-win outcome. As I already mentioned, and I'm stressing a lot on this one, that a good negotiation is always about win-win situation for both the parties. No matter, even if a buyer is coming down $10,000 and a seller is coming down $10,000 on their listing value, of course they're going to feel that they are losing this deal. But however, if for a buyer, we as a negotiator, we can bring the payment terms early, then automatically they will be like the seller will be getting that money in quicker terms. So it's a win-win for both the situation, right? For both the parties. So we have to come up with those kind of solutions for them, so where they both feel winning situations, right? Now, stay flexible. Always maintain adaptability. Things can go north, things can go south. It's easy. We are in a very, very brutal game, to be very honest, a big boys game. Things can go south, north, anywhere in real estate. Like, for example, today you are feeling very motivated that you have a deal, and suddenly after all your great negotiation, all your like an easy deal, which we most of the time we feel that, oh wow, this deal is very easy, it's a piece of cake, we can do it. But then certain times doesn't go away, and then so we have to be very, very flexible on that. If game A is not working, always prepare your game B on the side for the negotiation. So that's about it. Well, there is one point you have to remember on this one, that the successful negotiation is not about winning at all cost. Basically, It's about finding the mutual benefit, because once you find the mutual benefit, then 100% that deal gonna go through. Maybe not today, but yes, for sure for tomorrow, right? Now, I hope that helps. Let's go to the negotiation part for the buyers. When we are doing buyers, when we are, representing a buyer, buyers are very, they always want to undervalue the real estate or whatever they are seeking. They think that the price should be always less. So as a realtor, as a good realtor, I'm not going to say great, that's not the right word, but as a seasoned realtor or knowledgeable realtor, we have to make them understand that what's the real value of this thing which they are going to buy, and also what their motivations are they the exactly I said before, are they first time home buyers, are they investment looking for investment, or are they just upgrading their lifestyle, or certain times they are looking for themselves but they want a greater appreciation for future, because right now the new scenario of this world is that nobody lives in a real estate for more than 5 to 6 years. They always upgrade. Back in time, there used to be ancestor home and people used to live there for 50 years. Now it's changing. So, and then you have to learn about those timelines, when exactly they are looking to buy. What is the deal breaker? That's very important. Just be blunt, ask them, what is your deal breaker? Is it the money? Is it the timeline? Is it the size? Or is it the number of beds, the location? What is the exact deal breaker? Because most of the time what happens with us in the in negotiation is that we don't ask the actual deal breaker for the buyers, and then we think, oh, might be it's just a price, whereas it's not, nothing related to the price. Maybe it's just location. So we have to cross question those things and we have to ask them, right? Understand their emotional and practical needs, right? Always ask them the questions, always understand their emotional values. How many people in the family? Is there any elderly people? Are there any kids? Are there schools around with the properties you're looking and showing them? Are there any hospitals you're showing them? So all these things, they help, when you're on the negotiation table. Now, second point is set a realistic price range. As I already mentioned, when you have the data, when you did your competitive analysis right, you know the market trend, you know the property, what is the actual appreciation on that property, what is the actual value of that property as per the banks, because the property valuer is a bank. So most of the time maybe they want to take a loan, or a property appraiser needs to be appointed to know the actual value. So you have to tell them the actual realistic price point. They always gonna say, oh, this is so expensive, we want to just take a thing for, we don't want to, like, a thing is for $100, and they just always gonna lowball to, like, okay, I want to pay for $60 for that. It's never gonna work. That you have to show them the real value. I mean, sometimes honestly speaking, sometimes I go bad on those things as well. It happened to me recently, but at the end of the day, the deal go through, because, you have to show them at once they go very, very low ball, you just leave them. As Shashank already, like he mentioned today as well, and yesterday too. Actually, he helped me a lot in that one. And then after listening to him, I was like, you know what, you are right, Shashank. Let's just kill it. I don't want to just chase them. And then suddenly they were like, you know what, okay, we understand that this is the actual price for the market. And happened for most of the deals. And I believe that happened with you guys as well, right? So we as a realtor, we should be the actual person who will be setting those realistic price range for the buyers, right? Now, going to the third point, addressing the objections effectively. There will be many objective questions. The price is not right, the number of bedrooms are not good, the color of the wall is not good, and multiple of them. And you all are very, very professional, and like what are those questions. So always be prepared with the answers, and before even going to the deal, create those scenarios in your mind that helps you to just, when you're sitting on the table, to negotiate that deal. The fourth point is structure the offer strategically. When you're structuring, guide the buyer on initial offer amount, right? Then the contingencies and the terms. The contingencies and the terms are these: when things can go south, what are the additional payment they can do, or what are the terms? If can they pay a bit early for the down payment, or can they do like 40-60 split between the price point or something like that? So there are multiple. See, I cannot just tell you exact the offer strategies right now, because see, it depends on the deal to deal, right? There are multiple ways to do that. But yeah, if you guys need more of those information on like exactly how to structure those things, feel free. I can help you out with that. Feel free to reach out to Shashank Chauhan, and they, I mean, 100% we all can help you in that one. Like last point is navigate the counter offer. Whenever there will be a counter offer from the seller side, then you always have to be ready with the, from, if you're representing a buyer, always be ready with a counter offer. Try to just be on the middle point where, you know, your seller whom you're the buyer whom you're representing, they feel that you did a good job, you know, and then they both parties come to a mutual agreement, and then that's a win for you guys. Perfect. So that's about it for how to negotiate with the buyers in terms when you're representing a buyer, right? Now, when you're a seller, how you gonna just, you know, do a basic kind of a negotiation with them? And it's a simple way, again, as we were doing the negotiation with the buyer, same way we will be doing for the seller, because we have to understand what's the motivation, why they are selling. Are they lack of financial situation, some family change, or are they moving out of that city, or do they need that money urgently? Because when we know these things, then yes, 100% it gives us an upper hand to just, you know, negotiate that price to a lower level. Because as a seller, we always think like we are getting the less price for our property, so we always, like most of the seller always try to just, you know, position their property at a higher price point. But being a realtor, you have to just come up with, again, market analysis and tell them, listen, this is not how this thing gonna work. You have to be very competitive in the market, because if, let's say, what's a property sold 6 months back within your area, within the 1 kilometer of your area, that determines a lot about the pricing. So present those competitive offers, competitive strategies. That was the next point. And then manage the counter offer effectively. Now you have to come up with an effective counter offer, but considering in the mind that you are representing a seller right now, right? Well, this is some of the things that when we will, like buyer and seller, it's good because those two are the major, I will say, the decision maker in any kind of real estate transaction. But there are multiple other stakeholder in a transaction for real estate, specifically if we're going to talk about the mortgage brokers or bankers, you know, for the loan purposes. So in that case, you can, if you're representing in most of the case buyer, right, or in a case of seller, I'm going to tell you how you can do that. In terms of buyer, so you have to just negotiate those banking rates when you're doing the end-to-end services. And trust me, if you are providing the end-to-end services and going above and beyond your what you're supposed to do, you are building that long-term relationship with your clients, and then you will become like, you know, the family doctor for them, and then like a family doctor, you will be like a family realtor for them. So always build up your relationship with and negotiate your rate in advance with these stakeholders, like mortgage brokers, bank lenders, inspectors, appraiser. Most of the cases, appraiser and the inspectors are associated with the banks as well in India. In foreign is different, they are different separate entities. And then some attorneys as well. Build a relationship with attorneys like in tahsildars, and what do you call in India, the, you know, the lawyers, or jo wo like paperwork banate hain basically tahsil mein. So always build up those relationships, negotiate your rates with them in advance, that hey, listen, if I'm going to bring you the clients, how much can you just how much can I leverage your skills, and then what is there for me in that transaction, so that I can bring you more clientele. And then goes vice versa, because they can, if you will be giving them some things, maybe they can bring you more clients as well. So it's hand to hand, right? So always keep these stakeholders, the key players who are at the back end with you in this negotiation, right? Now, let's go to the common negotiation pitfalls and how to avoid them. Well, in real estate, negotiation success is hinge on, you know, most of them is very, very common mistakes, you know, which everyone does, and including me. I mean, I do most of the time. But then understanding like how not to do it can, you know, make us a very, very great negotiator. Failing to like why this happens. First of all, let's talk why this happens. Because we fail to understand the client's need. Most of the time this happens. trust me, in my previous jobs as well, when there was a team under me, and then they were on the calls doing these, hey, are you looking for real estate? But then they don't know the need of the buyer or the seller. Nothing. There were basically nothing. So at the end, when they are coming for the property, they cannot do any kind of great negotiation. All they can do is just bring the client, but then they are not buying from them. It's just they're looking for the information because they never understood the actual need of the client, right? Second is being overly aggressive and being possessive. Well, this is we all do. The reason behind that is because, see, other than buyer and seller, it's our interest involved in there too as a realtor. What is that? Commission, money. That's what we are working for, right? And then we feel that, if we will be pushing too hard through, it's never going to go through. It's just sometimes we lose that deal, or maybe we get too attached to that deal that the outcome will be coming with that one deal. Because let's say from past 6 months, I haven't done any deal, and suddenly I landed a deal, and then now I don't have an upper hand on that deal because I need that money very possessively, right? So when we do that, automatically we lose that deal. So, there is a saying in poker. I hope you must have played poker sometime in your life. In poker, a person with the bad cards, like the worst cards, if that person is very calm and composed and doesn't attach himself to the outcome, he wins. Always wins. As compared to the person who's aggressive, who's attached to that money or exactly the outcome which is coming, and that person has a great, one of the best cards, but then shows the emotion on the face, loses. It's the If somebody wants to be a greatest negotiator, learn the poker techniques. This is my personal recommendation. I follow poker. It helps a lot. You never show the emotion when you're sitting on that table with two parties. If deals happen, that's good. If doesn't happen, it's their loss, not yours. Of course, it's our loss as well because we are not making no money after all this hard work. But again, if we're gonna show that thing to them, then we are becoming a pushy salesman. We are not actually consultant or a professional. We are just another salesman. We don't want to be that. Okay. Now the third one is being prepared, not being prepared. I'm so sorry, not being prepared and just to walk away. Again, this point is just, I already mentioned that, when we are prepared in mind that if this deal happened, that's good. If not, then that's fine. But most of the cases, we are not prepared for that. And this, we are human being, we are emotional as well. So it's not a mistake, but yeah, it happens. This is a training. We have to train ourselves in that way. Right? So, well, these are some of the points and pitfalls, and I already mentioned how we can avoid them. And there are multiple other ways to avoid them. I would highly suggest you, internet is available. There are if you just gonna write down these things, hey, common negotiation pitfalls and how we can avoid it. You'll be having different techniques. And for real estate, the more we learn, the more we research by ourselves, the better we will learning. Okay, so this is my important my one of the very, very recommendation is just after this meeting, take down half an hour, because right now everything is so fresh and I know you guys all are excited. Everything's so fresh that take half an hour, search on all these things, like how to avoid the mistake, how to avoid these negotiation pitfall mistake. You'll be learning because that will be giving you a upper hand in negotiation. Well, let me move to the next one. Closing the deal effectively. The final stage of any real estate transaction or any sales transaction where there are two parties involved require a careful attention to details and strategic management of all the parties involved. A successful closing depends on thoroughly preparation and clear communication throughout the process, which I already explained, and it says all. Well, confirm all the details before signing. When you're sitting with your buyer or seller, whomsoever you're representing, be there with them in each and every step of the paperwork. Although this is not your work, I know that, but then if you be there with them, that helps you to bring the future business from them. Then they think, these people are there with us in each and every step. So let's say they want to, after 5 years, they want to buy a new property, they want to sell their property, because every seller is a new buyer. Okay. In real estate, every seller is a new buyer. Boom, they're gonna pick up a call. Hey, XYZ, man, like thank you so much for the last transaction. Now I'm looking to upgrade my lifestyle. What's there in the market for us? Boom, you are the go-to realtor, right? Now, the second is create a win-win outcome. I already mentioned how we bring the win-win outcome when we are taking care and then, considering both the parties equally, and we want to bring the best for both of them. Then there's a win-win situation and win-win outcome. Negotiate the closing cost. Again, now this is a point for us because that's where we negotiate ourselves. Negotiate yourself. Where in EXP, that's why we have what do you call, we have a fee letter, we have exclusive mandate, because that shows, well, certain times what happen, they don't want to give it in advance because, well, they don't know you, they don't know me, right? They don't even know that if whatever we are promising to them, are we even going to deliver. But we have did everything right, all the negotiation, all the steps we had to take care, and that they are happy. Then you have to just walk through with them that, hey, listen, I did all of these things for you. Now, professional cost, and that's my cost, you know, and boom. Before they sign anything, you have to negotiate your closing cost, and then you have to mention everything in there, right? Now, that's gonna get you paid. So that's very important. Don't forget to negotiate yourself. Okay, perfect. So, interesting thing, real life scenario quiz. Well, let's say for the scenario one, your client who wants to sell. Let's say you have a client who wants to sell his property, but initially they rejected a low offer of which was approximately 15% below the asking price and want to be firm on the selling price. But he wants to sell his house. However, his concern that he does not have any other place to live after selling the current property, right? So that is the reason he's not lowering the price and keeping himself stick to the property. Well, you being an effective negotiator, what would you do keeping in mind the buyer and seller and bring them to a mutual agreement where the buyer lower the price and seller can happily buy that property? Because see, seller is not in rush to move in, considering that. So anyone can, whoever wants to. See, I know most of you want to participate. I know that you guys are excited, but like I need like someone to just raise hand if that's available.
Hello.
Yes. Can you state the name?
May I?
I cannot see you. Yes.
Deep. Deep.
Yes, Deep, please go ahead. What would you do like in this scenario?
Okay. As far as I could understand, this question was basically the client is offering X amount. Sorry, is expecting X amount on his property,
Right.
and he's got a low ball. I mean, I won't say low ball offer, but he's got an offer that's 15% lower than his offer, right?
Right. So the buyer did an offer which was 15% below what the seller, which is your client, did.
Yeah.
The listing. But now, who's the seller? He wants to get rid of that property, but the only
Hmm.
reason he's not doing it because he doesn't have a next house to move in yet.
Okay. Okay. So
But
my yeah. Please go ahead.
but considering that the buyer over here, he has a time, he's flexible with moving. Okay.
Mhm.
So considering that both the things in mind, what would you do? How you can bring both of them where where the seller can lower the price and buyer can just, still get that property.
Okay. See, as far my little experience goes, I always offer whenever there's a transaction going on or whenever there's a negotiation going on, my only factor, my main factor for negotiation is always the payment terms and payment plans. So, for example, in a case where a seller does not have a property to move on to, right? And he is not lowering down the price. Maybe I can talk with the buyer or the fellow broker who's bringing the buyer to offer in a payment plan or a payment duration which can suit the seller, so that even if he's has to eventually lower down his price or accept a lower offer, maybe the payment time or payment terms suit their overall progress, so that it doesn't hurt them that much. So for example, if for example one property is listed 1 CR and I'm representing the seller, and he's got an offer for about 80 lakhs, something like that. So
Mhm.
if the seller has specific payment expectations, for example, he wants the payment to be ready in lesser time. So
Right.
maybe we can offer them longer duration, so that he has ample time to search for another property to move on to, and he gets that sort of a relaxation.
Right.
And he can maybe I'm trying to explain it properly. I hope you got it.
No, we
So
are getting.
basically, the payment terms, offer them payment terms which are suitable to their needs.
Right. Anyway, well, that's a great add-on. See, let me just tell you guys that there is no right or wrong way to do this. First of all, that's why this is very very exciting to do that. So just take your turn. Anyone else? Hello. Just give me a call. Let me give you a call back. I'm just in a meeting. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. Anyone else? Guys, can you hear me? So no one else wants to participate in this one? Okay, that's fine. So basically, if I would be at this place, then Deep, first of all, thank you so much. That was a great initiative you took. So let's say I mentioned one thing, that the buyer, he's flexible with the timing for the move-in date, and then you have to consider that the seller, why he's not selling yet, because that seller doesn't have the house ready where he wants to move in next. सो इन दिस सिचुएशन हम इस तरह से कर सकते हैं, हम बायर को कहेंगे कि सी सेलर थोड़ा टाइम ले लेगा, उसे अभी मूव इन नहीं होना, बट द कंडीशन इज इफ यू लोअर डाउन अ प्राइस पॉइंट देन 100% द सेलर विल बी buying this property right now. They're gonna pay up everything right now, but that's fine. You can just stay there for 1 month or couple of months till the time you'll be finding the new place. So that's a win-win situation for both.
Yeah, one more
Right.
this thing
Yes.
I can suggest is just ask the seller that he'll be paid some advance,
Right.
all right, and then subsequently look for a property and shift over there, or we can do some arrangement for him to have a rental property. So we are doing deals twice at the same time.
Perfect.
That can be another this thing way of doing thing. Third is we can calculate that whatever price he would be getting, in case if he's not reducing, he can reduce the price here, the seller, and whatever the deposit would be there in the bank, he'll be earning the interest and let the deal go on. So that's
Again, that's another way to do it. I mean, thank you so much. I'm so sorry, guys, because my screen is shared right now. I don't know who's giving the answer, but then thank you so much. Can you state your name, please?
yeah, Pankaj Sharma.
Pankaj ji, thank you so much for that. Well, thank you so much, guys, for participating in this question. Let's move on to the next one. Before I move on, anybody wants to just take a look or maybe try their opinion on that, or what the strategies they would like you would like to just use in this case? Nothing. Okay, let's move to the next one. Well, this is a scenario where you have to come up with a creative offer. Well, your client who wants to buy a property for at least 25,000 lower the asking price. So 25,000 में कम में खरीदना चाहता है आपका बायर, जो ठीक है, एंड दे हैव सम अपफ्रंट मनी रेडी, उनके पास अपफ्रंट मनी रेडी है. नाउ द सेलर doesn't want to lower the price. However, the seller needs money urgently. Being an effective negotiator, what would you do in this situation where you will be coming up with a win-win situation for both the parties? Who wants to take this? Anyone? Yes, please.
Deep.
Deep, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Again, Tarun, we can offer some sort of flexibility. For example, in some cases, some properties are offered as semi-furnished or furnished options, right? So
Exactly.
basically, we can offer the client that, okay, for example, if, see, we cannot alter the price of the property too much, as there is a market price going on. So maybe we can offer them something like, okay, fine, if you want a property matching your offer, if you want the property at the price matching your offer, maybe we can take down some of the furnishings out, so that, or you can get a bare shell property at this price, not a furnished option. That is one way to look at it.
That can be a great thing as well. Well, thank you so much, Deep. Anyone else?
Yeah, Tarun, hi. George this
Yes,
side.
George. George. Yes.
Yeah. So I think in case of the seller, he is in need of the urgent money, right?
Exactly.
So I probably ask him to take a discount and have the major part of money in the initial part. Like in a resale transaction, what I understand is that initially you have a token, then you have a ATS, and then there is a
Right.
gap between the ATS to the registry. So I believe if he's selling a property, that 10 80's amount will not be of much of help. He might be wanting a bigger amount. So I'll
Right.
try and push that, transaction a little bit earlier and give him a bigger amount and ask him to discount for that.
Amazing,
And
amazing. I mean, that's a good answer. Thank you so much, George, and thank you so much, Deep. Deep, your answer was creative as well. That's a different way of thinking. I mean, maybe that's an addition to that actually. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Because see, why, guys? The thing is, no one is just testing you on this exercise. It's simple. The With a question, everything is within the question as well. So you see that you have to listen to everything, and then listen to the question itself is like, it means showcase that you are listening to the client, the needs of the client. Let's say George catch this one, that the the seller is in the need of urgent money, so we can give them offer where हम उन्हें ज़्यादा पैसा upfront दे देते हैं, but for that you have to negotiate the price a bit lower, right? Perfect, guys. Well, let's go to the last one over here. What are the best practices for the real estate negotiation? First of all, know the market inside out. This is just a revision we are doing. But all we have, catch so far. So know the market in and out. Do the CMA. Stay calm and confident. Don't feel that there is something to lose or something to gain, because then 100% we lose when there is, fear of losing out. Ask the right question. Always listen, ask the right question, then listen, ask the right question. Master the timing and patience. Be patient. Deal is not going today, that's fine. Move it to tomorrow. Give them some room to breathe on that offer. If we offer them right now, don't try to just close that thing right away. It's never gonna happen. But then you become a pushy salesman. Document everything. Whenever you're doing the documentation, document your commission, document whatever the negotiation happened between the buyer and seller, right? So that in future, if the deal is getting to go down north or south, then you have everything documented. Build a genuine relationship. Build this genuine relationship with your buyer and the seller, because that's where the more and more business is coming in future, right? All right, guys. So that's I conclude over here. We have a summary which I already explained in that sense. So let's do the Q&A. If you anyone have any questions, and the question is not just for me. I mean, we have Shashank Vashisht as well. We have Abbas. So Shashank Vashisht is very, very, he has a lot of exposure with negotiation. So if you'll be having questions from anyone, you can ask freely. I'm just gonna
So,
Hey, hi Tarun.
Hi,
The session was very awesome and thank you. It was a great learning for all of us.
thank you so much. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, perfect. I thought for a second I lost you guys, because I thought we all are just doing this session for the first time, and then getting through is a bit tough. I'm gonna just stop. Anyone? Okay, here. Yeah. So any question, guys? Any question from your side?
Tarun, I have a small question.
Yes, Z, please go ahead.
Yeah, as I was going through the session, there was a very valid point put across that sometimes we have to, show the clients a very relaxed attitude. Not relaxed in a sense, laid back attitude, but relaxed attitude, as though the deal is not. Basically, we don't have to show any sort of urgency or desperation, as you rightly said, right? But
Exactly.
how, on the contrary, do we create an urgency even after giving all the offers, or even after showing the value proposition in the offer, in the transaction? Even after that, if one of the parties falls back, how to basically create that urgency without being pushy?
See, for that, Deep, मैं इसमें ये has a different way of doing it. मेरा जो अब तक काम हुआ है, उसमें मैंने अगर I'm giving all the information about the market, ठीक है, and then because see there is a certain level जहां से नीचे कभी डील जा ही नहीं सकती, वो फिर आपके हाथ में नहीं है, वो किसी के हाथ में नहीं है. अगर क्लाइंट को आप वो समझा सकते हो ना, तो that deal always work out. So now that depends on you, how you gonna convey those things to your client. If in case of he's a buyer, then you have to just come up with all the market research in front of them, that listen, I did all the work for you, so that you didn't have to go out and did all these things. Now here it is, I'm giving you on the plate all the information. See, where is the room? There is no room available right now. So it's here and there like that. So see, at the end of the day, buyer, if and then again another thing is, remember I told you that you have to listen everything. Listen is not just what they are saying. Listen to those things what they are not saying by their emotional behavior. For example, I'm going to give you one example. Recently, last week, one of our agent, he's a very good agent of ours, Narendra Shekhawat. He actually gave me a
Hmm.
call, and then he told me that one of my client, he's looking to rent out this, the farmhouse in Chhatarpur. But the problem
Hmm.
is that they are not doing a proper negotiation. So simple, I asked one thing: how was their behavior when they came to visit you? When they were looking at the property, what their exact behavior was, because that says a lot for the negotiation. They were giving you any signs of, they love the property, any kind of sign, then you can leverage that thing. If the deal not going today, yes, tomorrow is going to go through. All you have to do is not being pushy. After 2 days, just tell them, hey, listen, I received one more viewing for this property. Are you still interested?
Hmm.
So I can just hold up for you. That's it.
Hmm.
If not, then it's
Hmm.
your
Yeah, that's the best weapon actually that can be used,
exact.
and mostly works. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like you rightfully said during the session, that you gave an example of poker where you said I try to keep a poker face,
Exactly.
so that actually works. But sometimes, and most of the times, this happens. The clients, the buyer or the seller, when you just mentioned this previous example, they also try to keep a poker face. So it's very hard to judge or analyze what exactly their expressions are. Even if some clients, they walk through the property and even if they love it, they always put up a poker face. Oh, isme to ye kharab hai, we're not in an urgency. So
But
in
then
that case, I believe, yeah, that's the only weapon, sir. We have another buyer lined up and we've
we have
got another offer coming up. So if you're interested, then we could go ahead and close this.
all the poker. See, listen to
Uh,
this. All the poker players, they are professional on the table.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Now, who wins? The
yeah,
person
the strongest one, yeah, poker face, yeah.
you
but
are you are the
yeah,
best player. Okay. Now you have to learn yourself to just judge their poker face as well. So when we master
Uh,
this thing, bro, we are killing those deals.
but I will
Great.
like to add
I
something,
know, yeah.
Tarun.
Please,
Please.
Rahul ji.
Yeah. So, like if you yourself will going to mention to the client, yes, that I have a someone, other client or other visit or something, it will give a little, negative feel to the buyer. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
instead of that, I normally what I practice, like instead of mice, like I normally say that the seller is telling there are some other client or other brokers also approaching, and they are very
Oh,
much
great,
serious, because
great, great.
otherwise he will
That
going to lose the trust that you are not so serious and you don't want and not giving priority to him.
yeah.
Okay, great.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's better. Yeah.
I just have an example on it. This is a funny example, guys. So I think we still have a couple of minutes left. I'm not gonna take too much. So when I was in Canada, so I was selling my car over there. Now that was in the resale market. I posted on the Facebook page. तो वहां से कोई buyer आ गया मेरे पास. अब suddenly what happened? My cousin was coming to visit me. तो वो जब बायर आए थे ना गाड़ी देखने के लिए, तो मेरा कजन भी वहीं खड़ा हुआ था. नाउ व्हाट दे वर थिंकिंग दैट दिस इज अ सेकंड बायर. So, as Rahul is saying, is so right that it impacts a lot. When a seller is telling that, hey, I have some more clients lined up. So, if you guys are making a decision, make it quick or else.
Yeah, this works. Yeah,
So thank you so
this
much,
works.
Rahul,
Yeah, this
bringing that
works
up.
actually. Yeah,
That's a great, great addition.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I have a,
Yes, Sharma
probably we can tell the customer or the buyer that
ji.
this customer has already been told of 90 lakhs instead of what his demand is 1 crore, and he has already been offered 90 lakhs or 92 lakhs and he has not agreed to it. Make a mental that will have a mental makeup of a buyer that he has to offer price somewhere little higher and not much of scope of this thing is there. So that can also be used. I don't know. You to tell me on this.
No, I mean, see that can be another tool which you can do at the time of negotiation. See, again, I'm gonna say there is no right or wrong things in negotiation. It's always like वो हिंदी में layman language में गेम के अंदर कौन सा पत्ता कब फेंकना है. It all depends on that, and that's the only way to just win the negotiation. So always you prepare in advance when you are going and meeting your client. Just prepare everything, because preparation goes a long way. Anything else, guys? Anyone else? I can see 27 people. Come on, man. Like, you didn't like the session or what?
No, it was great, Tarun. It was a great session.
Thank you so much. I think it's after hours. Everyone is low on energy. From tomorrow, maybe we can send some coffee to everyone's home. You know what would imagine, like, if we will be having this coffees and teas virtually as well. It would be great, right? But I think the future will be like that. Vijay, should we just end this session now? I think that's about it from my side. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Ashutosh ji, yes, that's correct that Shashank Chauhan ji was here, but then due to some emergency, he's not available right now. But don't worry, next week he will be there, and you'll be learning from the pro. And we really want you guys to just, like, we really want him to come on the stage and then give you all the insights. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much from my side. That's it.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tarun. Thank you for the amazing session. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Take care, guys. Good night.
Thanks, Tarun. Good night.
Thanks, George. Bye.